Ethan sat frozen in front of his laptop, staring at the list of names. The realization clawed at his sanity. These weren't just dreams. They were something more, something real. He tried to stay awake, coffee, energy drinks, anything to keep his eyes open. But exhaustion was relentless. The moment his head dipped, darkness swallowed him. The bus was waiting. The same flickering lights, the same musty air, the same silent passengers, their hollow eyes fixed forward. But tonight, something was different. The driver turned. For the first time, Ethan saw its face, or the absence of one. A shifting void, rippling like black smoke, its hollow sockets locking onto him. "Ethan Carter," it rasped. Terror crashed through him. "No," he gasped, gripping the seat. "No, I don't belong here." The bus lurched. The doors groaned open. Wind howled beyond the threshold, a gaping abyss stretching into nothingness. A cold hand clamped onto his wrist. Ethan screamed, thrashing, trying to break free. The other passengers turned, their mouths stretching open in silent agony, as if they wanted to warn him, beg him to run. Then, a whisper, soft, familiar. "Wake up." A jolt of pain shot through his chest, his body convulsed, and suddenly he was in a hospital bed. Machines beeping, a nurse shouting for help, his mother sobbing beside him. He was awake, but as he gasped for air, the weight on his wrist remained an invisible grip, cold and unrelenting. The nightmare wasn't over. It had followed him back. Ethan's breath came in ragged gasps as he stared at his wrist. The cold sensation lingered, like fingers still wrapped around his skin. His mother clutched his other hand, sobbing with relief, but he barely registered her presence. "The bus," he whispered. His mother pulled back, her tear-streaked face twisting in confusion. "What did you say, sweetheart?" Ethan swallowed hard, shaking his head. Nothing. How could he explain? That his nightmares weren't just dreams, that something had tried to take him back. The doctors ran tests. His heart had nearly stopped in his sleep, but they found no cause. Residual trauma, they called it, a psychological response to the coma. They gave him sedatives, told him to rest. But Ethan knew better. That night, as exhaustion dragged him under, he braced himself. The bus was waiting. This time it was empty. No passengers, just him and the driver. "You shouldn't be here," the void-faced figure rasped. Ethan clenched his fists. "I didn't choose to come back." The driver tilted its head. The bus doors creaked open. Outside wasn't darkness anymore. It was his hospital room. Ethan saw himself lying in bed, monitors beeping softly, his mother asleep in the chair beside him. "This is your stop." He shook his head, stepping back. "No, I'm alive." The driver's hollow gaze bore into him. "For now." The bus lurched, the walls vibrating with a deep, rumbling sound like distant thunder. Then Ethan woke up, but something was wrong. The hospital was too quiet. The monitors were still, their lights off. He turned to his mother, but she wasn't moving. Panic surged through him. He grabbed her shoulder, shook her. "Mum?" No response. Ethan scrambled out of bed, his chest tight with dread. The hallway beyond his room was pitch black. Shadows stretched unnaturally along the walls. Then he heard it, a low, echoing horn in the distance. The bus was coming, but this time he wouldn't be waking up.